Hi there, and welcome to United and Everything Football. It's not a cheery recording because you know what happened. We lost by 3-0 for the second season in a running. Bournemouth have come to Old Trafford to beat us 3-0 once again. Last season, in December, they came to Old Trafford, beat us 3-0. This season, they are back to do it over us again. Now, it's not just that. This is the time, it's just another crucial result where we've lost back-to-back home games in the league. We lost 3-2 against Forest, and then we've lost 3-0 against Bournemouth. Well, another interesting stat. Ever since the league started, we have not won a league game back-to-back. From August that the league started, United have not won a league game back-to-back. It looks as if a lot of problems are still around Manchester United, and it's a plethora of issues. We'll discuss the game, and also we'll look at where these whole issues are coming from, and then we'll wish you a Merry Christmas, and then we'll be out of here. I'm here with Kwame Chukwuesiako and Sichofe, the man sister. Sicho, great to have you on the pod once again.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Good to be back. What a pleasure.
Yeah, hi, Sicho. Kwame. You know, let me tell you the truth. It was hard. It was hard convincing Kwame to come and do the show today. Guy was completely finished. He was completely finished. You see the way you felt watching the game. Kwame was worse off. Sicho.
Yeah.
Super pissed.
I mean, it was difficult to watch, really. And I think every Man United fan would be very disappointed. I know we'll get into the game, but just watching the team at Old Trafford being captured and being beaten like that by Bournemouth was just a difficult watch.
It was a difficult watch. For me, I will tell you my thoughts when we begin to analyze it, because I've gotten to that point. I've really gotten to that point. All right. As usual, I know what to do. Remember to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell as well. There's a lot more to do. There's a lot more to come from us on this podcast. Thank you very much for being a part of this community. We really appreciate you, your comments, your likes, your sharing, and everything you do for us across all the platforms, on TikTok, on X, on Instagram. Thank you very much for being a part. Let's make a quick turnaround. When I come back, I'll get to the guys. We'll try and see whether we can dissect everything that happened in the game against Bournemouth here on United and Everything Football. All right, thank you very much. Welcome back to United and Everything Football. It's not a very cheerful recording, but we'll try as much as possible to do it. We hope we convey the emotions that you felt watching the game to you, because it wasn't so nice. But we are here for each other, you know. We share in each other's pain. That's why we are here. So we try as much as possible to make sense of whatever happened in the game against Bournemouth. Kwame, let me start with you, because there's a lot on your chest before I get to Sicho. The coach said a storm was coming. Is it a self-inflicted storm, or is a storm we expected?
He should off with that storm thing that he's talking about. Listen. See, this is not the Portuguese league, right? He should for far more than he actually did face. I don't know what he's getting at. I don't know what the actual plan is, but whatever that he's doing right now, it's not working. I'm not falling for the smiles or the sweet talk and everything. No, I'm not going with that. I'm not going with that. He is getting a lot of things absolutely wrong right now. And it's not, come and listen, it's not funny. It's not. You see, the thing is, over the past decade, every manager comes and then we jump on the hype train. We stand to wank over this manager. But I told you that with this guy, we are not sure about who he actually is, because we've seen better managers come to this club and they've all sunk. So let's not jump on the Amorim hype train just yet.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, I haven't done that. There are other people who may have done that, but I haven't done that. And he's showing exactly why we should not fall for this thing again.
Mm-hmm.
If he doesn't fix up, I don't mind him walking out in the next 6 months. Our owner has gone on a tear right now. So if you mess up, you're gone. He has to fix up or he has to leave and somebody else come to take over the mantle and see where he can take us.
Hey, what an initial remark. Shaking.
I'm pissed. I'm pissed.
I'm so pissed. I'm trying to calm him down. But Ticho, let's look at the game. I mean, what really went wrong? Is it that Bournemouth is
Everything.
strong, or we are just? What really went wrong?
No, everything went wrong. Let's not make a mistake. Bournemouth have really been a good team this season. They've been very good to watch. They are physical, they are quick, they are aggressive. They've scored some very good goals. They've got goals all around the team. They've got defenders who chip in goals, midfielders who score goals. All their front bench can score. They've got goals on the bench. So it's a very, very decent team, Bournemouth. And they make it extremely difficult for any team to play against, especially for the top side, because of the way they play. They are not scared to risk and commit bodies forward into the box.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw them against Man United today. When they have the ball in attacking areas, they would flood the box. They would create OA. They spot good runs. Their passing is simple yet effective. And at the end of the day, like I said, they win their duels because they're a very physical team. So Bournemouth have been good this season. It's the reason why they are where they are on the table, and the reason why some of their players are looking like some big clubs are scouting them. So yeah, the Marine Ball we think we know from Sporting, the team that is good. And I remember I mentioned it here that I'm not sure players like Garnacho and good fit. That is already two players that United were hugely counting on in this season.
Mm-hmm.
Gone. We did question if Ericsson was going to be fit for the his style. It doesn't look like he will be Casemiro. So you've got tons of players who look like straight away mid-season, a new manager has come into the club and they are plenty misfits. And that for me has got to go down with the poor planning of Ineos coming into the season. Like I said to Samuel's Twitter spaces that Ineos didn't come in the summer. Ineos had the whole of half of the season last time
Mm-hmm.
to learn about the league,
Yeah.
to learn about the potential managers that it could bring in, to have a proper time to plan a squad for the season. But they've almost experimented and gambled and failed miserably in their first season. And for me, everything the Ineos group are doing on the sporting side of the club doesn't suit or doesn't befit a club with the stature of Man United. They've not shown that they have the financial capacity. They've not shown they've got the experience at this level.
Mm-hmm.
They've not shown that the appointment they are making are hitting the grounds running. And for me, I've been disappointed with their start. All right. And they've gone on to do look, all of us knew that Eric Ten Hag wasn't a good fit for the club. We've known this for a while. I don't know how they extended this contract and kept him in the job at the start of the season
Mm-hmm.
and then ended up sacking him months into the season. Something they should have done months before the season started. Because if Amorim had preseason, if Amorim had brought in players, then we can better judge him in these games that he's not doing well. But we can only say that these players are not good enough, and that is why the other manager even failed with them. So why are we blaming the new manager who has come in mid-season, who can't seem to find a tune out of them? But Amorim also needs to take a huge part of the blame, especially with the way he's managed the squad.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you come into a struggling team and players are not playing well, you can't afford to treat these players like all of them are in form.
Mm.
So what is the consequence for a bad show? The last time Malasia played, he was bad.
Mm-hmm.
So why is he playing again today
Mm-hmm.
at home against Bournemouth when he's lost in midweek and he's not been winning games and when he smell an opportunity of getting close to the top four? Why is a player like Malasia starting? Why is a player like Joshua Zegdi starting? I'm not a big fan of Hoyland, but whenever he's played as the Arrowhead, he's looked like it's not even close. He's looked a country mile better than Joshua Zexi. So what is the reward for performance or good performance under Amorim, he seems to have an idea that he can get every player to play in a system. And all he keeps doing is changing the team, breaking telepathy, breaking partnerships. And as we speak now, he doesn't even have his best 11. And that is where I think that the blame comes to him. When a manager, you walk through the door, you set the standard, you pick a team that can do the job, and then every other player looks up to that team and strives to break into the team you've picked. But if you make it clear that everybody will play, then what is the reward for good performances? And
I don't
what
know.
are
I
the
wanted to
consequences
chip
for
in.
bad performances?
I wanted to chip in this school of thought from the other side
Yeah,
that
yeah.
the team has gone through a lot of injuries, and a lot of the players that are coming back from injury. So he makes mention of Harry Maguire, Malasia, Lenny Yoro, a few of the players, and that United will need to manage them within this period where there is a truckload of games having to be played and all of that. I mean, where do we situate this reasoning or this line of thought by the other school?
It does, it doesn't wash. It doesn't wash because it's gone into games making about five different five changes to the starting 11. Um, I have no problem if those players need fitness, then bring them on from the bench, give them minutes.
Mhm,
We saw Malasia today. If Malasia came into the game in the last 15 minutes, that is good enough for a player who's returning from injury. You threw Malasia in there. He started the game against a very good bomb side and he struggled.
mhm,
And it's not the first time. Harry Maguire is returned from injury, but he looks fitter than those who have been playing because he's played well. So all I'm saying is I don't mind if you want to manage injuries, if you want to shuffle the squad. But I'm thinking that when he has dropped Amad Diallo, even in some games, what has been the reason for it?
mhm.
Right? In the game against Liverpool, was it? You dropped
Man,
Amad. What was it?
managing his load, as they say.
Look, look, all of these are excuses. Mohamed Salah is playing every weekend for
Mhm,
Liverpool, and
mhm,
they are playing at the highest level, playing in Champions League, the biggest games. Look, Erling Haaland is starting every game for City. Last season when they were winning the treble, Rodri was starting every game.
mhm,
You are in a struggling team. You can't afford to manage the load for players who are your best at the moment. You need to keep the momentum going. You need to keep look. Your system, the three-back system is not. Most of the players didn't grow learn that system. Most of them didn't learn that in academy. It's a very complex system.
mhm,
There's a reason why only few managers prefer to play that.
mhm.
Players need to go through the routines to be able to understand it. There's a reason why Thomas Tuchel, when he picks his team, and he makes his mind on the next or the four substitution that he's got. He said there's a reason why Antonio Conte, when he picks his team, you can do very like he barely changes anything because it's a very. And we saw Gary Southgate even with the English national team.
Mm,
When he picks team, it is difficult for him to change. It doesn't matter if one player doesn't play well today or he. The three-back system is he has an information overload. If he wants to excel at it, and if you can even check out for Inter Milan, when Inzaghi picks his team, he's got several players who are playing well, but the core, the spine, the main guys are always in and around that system because that is how that system is difficult. But you can't keep changing players and hope that all of a sudden they will gel and there will be telepathy mixed for defense and attack. And I think that is where the manager is shooting himself in the foot.
Kwame, you're also from the same school of thought as Sicho that the coach is chopping and changing a lot more. Um, I,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm trying to play the devil's advocate on being on the manager's side to try.
Yeah, I totally understand. I understand what you're saying. We've been over this on this podcast a couple
Yeah,
of times.
yeah.
But my point is to buttress what Sucho is saying is
Mm,
if you want to develop patterns, you want to develop automatisms, you
mhm,
want players to understand each other, partnerships to form. Why don't you play a consistent team? But if you keep chopping and changing, and the thing is, he's not just chopping and changing players, he's even chopping and changing their positions as well.
mm,
So one time
Absolutely.
you have Mazraoui playing as a right centre back. The next time you move him to right back. Next time you play him at left wing back. Which partnership is he forming with who?
mm,
Diogo Dalot is literally playing everywhere. One time you're playing Matthias de Ligt as right centre back, you're playing as centre back. With which partner? there are no partnerships forming at this point in time. So a certain set of players can play well one time, and instead of giving them the opportunity to play again, so that you know what, they reinforce whatever that they were able to build. The next game, it's a totally different back four, it's a totally different midfield, it's a totally different attack. What are you doing? So the thing is, you're going to get inconsistency. And the point is, I made this point earlier also on the space. It's not like you are choosing from a world-class squad. The point is, you're not choosing from a world-class squad. Some of these players we have been saying right from the start of the season that they shouldn't even be at a football club in the first place. Some of them clearly do not have a future at a football club, in which I'll get into, because I want to talk about the squad. I want to describe the squad that we have right now.
Yeah.
So if you're not going to play with some of these players, the rest of the players that you believe will be here long term, why don't you focus on them, the probably 14, 15, 16 players, and then ride with it? And those who are not going to be here, they shouldn't be involved at all. So now let me get into the squad. From the beginning of the season, we started the squad. Before the start of the season, we had 6 forwards.
Yeah.
Right? We had sold Mason Greenwood and Pellistri. I think we had Ahmad, we had Sancho, we had Marcus Rashford, we had Garnacho, we had Højlund, and we added Zexi to it. The season starts and then you lose Jadon Sancho, right? On the very last day of the transfer window, without a replacement. Already that's shot by 1, so we have 5, right? 2 2 attacking midfielders in Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes. 4 central midfielders in Eriksen, Casemiro, who are old and past it. You have a very young Menu, and then you added Ugarte to it, right? Defense, we had 4 fullbacks, we had 6 centre backs, of which some of them are probably not fit for purpose. One of them hasn't even started a Premier League game since March, in Victor Lindelof. Long term, I'm counting up until now, we've decided, the club has decided, and I'll continue to ramp on this, that the club has decided to get rid of certain players, of which Marcus Rashford is one. So the attack that had 5 forwards, you've already taken Marcus Rashford off because he's not going to play for this football club again, in my opinion. It leaves you with 4 forwards. And these are the 4 forwards. Højlund, Zexi, whom nobody is convinced these 2 strikers are good enough to be starting games for Manchester United. And the other 2 are Amad Diallo and Alejandro Garnacho. These 4, right? No Premier League team, and I'll repeat this over and over again. No Premier League manager or Premier League team would analyze Manchester United going into a fixture and go like, we should be afraid of this front 4. They would feel that they have players on their team that are at par or probably better than our players. And that there is absolutely no reason why they should not be able to take the game to Manchester United if this is the only firepower that we have. We are a big club, but this team is not big. Mason Mount, one of the 2 attacking midfielders, is a no-show. You just have Bruno Fernandes. In central midfield, it is clear we want Casemiro gone. He doesn't play anymore. Casemiro has started 1 Premier League game in our last 6. 1. He doesn't even come off the bench anymore. That's why I keep saying it is Ineos that has decided that they want some players gone. And that ruthlessness that the owner wants to see, some people have to do, because see, someone lost his job because he was not ruthless enough. The last thing anybody would want to do now is to lose their job because they are not heeding to what probably the owner wants, that certain players have to be gotten rid of by hook or crook. Eriksen, we know, should not be playing, and very often doesn't play. We saw him in midweek. His legs are gone. So you're left to 2 central midfielders in a very young Kobe Mainoo, who finds it very difficult to get about the pitch. And Ugarte, when you take off Ugarte and you refuse to bring on the other defensive midfielder who has literally been frozen out, there is no defensive midfielder. So we are short. All of a sudden we are short. Our 2 left backs, I've told you, they are never going to be the left backs that we ever thought they were going to be again because of their well-documented injury issues. We don't have a left back at this football club. So we are literally relying on 2 right backs, just as we did last season. It's like we never learned our lesson. 2 right backs to try and cover for the full-back position. Now they don't even play just as normal full-backs. They play as wing-backs, which is even more demanding. It requires a very specific skill set, of which one of them is struggling so much in Diogo Dalot, right? The only place you may say we are stocked is in central defense. But he keeps chopping and changing partnerships, keeps moving players. You get what I'm trying to say? We don't even have a left-footed centre back apart from Lisandro Martinez, whom we all know is not accustomed to playing in that role. So when you analyze the squad critically, we are short. When you are short, don't then try and fool me. That's the problem I have with Amorim. By trying to make it look like, you know what, everybody is good enough to play for Manchester United and everything is fine and our squad is big and everybody has to play. We are not there. We are not that kind of team. So when you get in there, you see, I've been patient about this, despite my little rumbles about it over the past few weeks, because I agree with you that he needs to get to know the players. It's more like you have to give everybody a chance for the sake of the dressing room alone. Make everybody feel like a part of it. I was thinking I was going to last about 3 or 4 games. Honestly, I thought you've heard me complain about this right from there. Like, come on. I mean, I thought this was just for the vibes. Like 3 or 4 games for the vibes. Everybody feels like, you know what?
And then you get a settled team thereof.
It gets a settled team. But all I've been seeing week after week is you chopping and changing. What the heck are you doing? What's your problem? What are you doing? And the other problem I have is we didn't have a set piece problem before you came in. We're not conceding set pieces. We're considering other types of goals. Since you came in, I think we've considered our 6 set pieces goals. We've considered 20 goals in total, this season. Yes. But out of that, 9 of them are set pieces. Of the 9, 6 of them have come under your tenure. There was a set piece coach in place before you came. That was Wilcox brought a specialist set piece coach. You came in and your assistant coach, who isn't a set piece specialist, is the one who has taken over set pieces. Making the other guy redundant. Why is he there? And it's not like your routines are working. You see you practicing routines before games at halftime, blah blah blah. And 2 minutes into a game, you're conceding a goal. My issue is this is the Premier League. When Premier League centre backs come forward for a ball, these are trees. They are monsters. This is nothing like the East League where you could get away with certain things. So when you are practicing certain routines and they are not working, and they keep rearing its head in terms of affecting us negatively, you have to take the blame for it. I'm glad in the post-match he actually held his hand up and went like, "It's me." But it's almost like he's taking the fall for everything. Everything is him.
Yes.
No, but this is really like you on the coaching staff because they are costing us goals. These set piece goals change games. You know what I mean? Goals change games.
And to add up to you, it gets to a point where now teams begin to see this is a clear weakness. And then psychologically, it has a toll on the team. It affects
the team. Exactly.
It affects the team. So now they begin to see, okay, this is a clear weakness of the team. They are very bad at set pieces. And now everybody wants to have a go at you at set pieces. And it's going to take time to reverse that psychology or that thinking on the team, and that has to be resolved.
Just before Publicito jumps in here, I want to believe, this is my belief, that there is a method to what they are doing. And the only thing I can think about, which is logical to me, is that they have decided that this season is a season they're going to use to grow the squad. The reason I'm saying this is, it pains me to say it, but I have to make this reference, of which Sitcho might not entirely be happy with it, but it is the fact. We have trolled Chelsea all throughout the past 2 years, thinking their projects had no direction and they didn't know where it was going, blah, blah, blah. But something has emerged out of the chaos. How they went about it was they signed as many good players as they could, whether legally or illegally. They found ways to sign. This is what Ineos must also solve, finding ways of signing players, finding ways of selling players, of loading players so that they can sign players. But they also kept changing managers up until the point where they felt that they got the man for the job. They kept changing technical directors. At the point, they even had 2 technical sporting directors. They sacked them. There's even one of the guys, the recruitment guys at our end now, Vivian, who used to work there. They even sacked him after 3 months. Through the chaos, through all the constant changes, eventually they arrived at a point where everything seems to be in sync. So I'm just hoping that we are at that similar point where we are making mistakes, because when new people come in, things don't often take off so smoothly, especially at a club that has been shit for almost 10 years. You're not going to just come in there and everything will just work. So my hope is that through all the mistakes that they are making, because they're clearly making mistakes, through all the sacking and then the reappointment and all the signing of players and sacking of players, eventually beauty will emerge out of this chaos. Now we'll find our feet, we'll find a good team, we'll find the right coach, be it Amorim or somebody else, and then we carry on from there.
Let me make a quick turnaround. When I come back, I'll get to Sicho. I'll pick his final thoughts on it, and we'll look at the game against Wolves, and then we'll be right back after this. All right, thank you very much. We are back here on United and Everything Football Podcast. Sicho, we have a game against Wolves. They have a new manager today. They had a bounce. They lashed our former caretaker manager 3-0, who is also having his own problems somewhere, Ruud van Nistelrooy, at Leicester. How much of a bounce do you think this can have? Because we are going to the Molineux, and it's a very difficult place for us as well. Quickly.
Yeah, but at the moment, Man United are not playing well. At the moment, Amorim doesn't have a hold on the team. And for Wolverhampton Wanderers, they've been lucky at times. They've played well in a lot of games that they've not had the result to go with it. So they always play well. And I think they will play well against Man United. The new manager, Ivan Juric, is a good manager. He's a very good tactician. And so, yeah, it's going to be a difficult game for Man United. But I think that after this defeat, if Amorim is not learning his lessons, if Amorim is not picking a team that he can stick with, if Amorim is not setting a standard that everybody has to fight and get into, then I don't think he still understands the gravity of the job that he's got. I don't think Ineos are great, but he's picked up the job. And he has to start winning games. This is Wolves. There's a reason why they struggle. Defensively, they are not great, even though they can play well. And so he has to get a way of beating them. But at the moment, even though we see the signs of what he wants to do, because it keeps chopping and changing, it's impossible for us to see patterns. It's impossible to see partnerships. It's impossible for us to see Shelly party in the team, and that has to change. Otherwise, results won't improve.
Mami, in a minute, because I have some long list of thank yous I have to say because you're at the end of the year, you know.
See, it's about time. Christmas is over. That heavy schedule that we have been ramming about, it's the end of the schedule. The schedule is done. Yeah. After Boxing Day, we have one more game before the end of the year against Newcastle, I think. Yes. And then we are into the new year.
Yeah.
Start playing what we believe is our strongest 11 possible.
Yeah.
Right? But at the start of January, I just want to see as many people as the club wants to get rid of, gotten rid of, and then bring in somebody's very good quality players so that we can see whether we can make something out of the second half of the season. Against Wolves, we have to win. See, we have to get back. See, the Premier League, we've been shit. We've been horrible. Yeah. We have to get back on track. Salvage something. You know, finish in the top half. We are in the bottom half of the table, man.
Yeah.
Bottom half of the. It's never happened since
the 1989. Yeah.
89. It never happened in the Premier League era that we are Christmas and we're in the bottom half. Win and at least get into the top half of the table before the end of the year.
All right, thank you very much, guys. So we are at the end of the year. Sichu, we have a lot of thank yous to do. So it's become our annual ritual. Yeah. We want to say thank you and a Merry Christmas to you. Sichu, thank you very much for being a part of this podcast. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Throughout. See, let me make this confession. Sichu has been one of the guys who have been a backbone to this podcast ever since we started.
From the jump.
The day we mentioned that we put out our first episode, he's directed people to this channel. I remember one of the first comments that I read was that I am here because Sicho directed me here. It really filled my heart. Thank you very much, Sicho. And he has not just directed.
You do an amazing job. You do an amazing job.
He has always been here. And you should see my chat with him. Anytime you call him, he's always available. If he can make it, it's just heartwarming. Thank you very much, Sicho. And not just Sicho alone. The list is here. Let me try and see. I pray I've not forgotten anyone.
You better not forget anyone. You better not forget anyone.
Daniel Cranting, aka
Charlie. Charlie.
Charlie. Thank you very much, Daniel Cranton. Nathan Obodai Kwao. He's also been with us. Thank you very much, Nathan. Michael Akumia, the Messiah. Sicho's nemesis.
Akurizi.
Also a part of us. Thank you very much. Let me see my time. Okay, I have 6 minutes. Let me do it. Yao Ofosu Labi Kawawa. is also a part of us.
Kawizi, yeah.
Thank you very, very much. Kawizi. Yao Frimpong Kodia is also a
Hey.
part of us. He's also been a part of us. Godfred Akoto Boafo, senior Godfred Akoto
Yep.
Boafo. He
Yep.
has also been a part of this podcast. Thank you very much. Agogo, Cyrus Agogo of Prr, he's also been a part of us. Thank you very much for coming. And also Fentuo Tahiru Fentuo, he joined us for AFCON Daily. He joined us for the games against Chelsea. He was always here to be the opposition, and he's also been a part of us. A special friend of mine, a very, very special friend of mine. Thank you very much. Solid guy. Collins Atapoku Clancy has also been a part of us. He's also been here during the AFCON Daily, during the Euros, and then the games that we play against Liverpool. He's always here with us. Yao Bing has also been a part of us, so he joined us for one episode, and also Tufo also joined us in the course of the year. Let me do the AFCON Daily Squad. Nuhu Adams was here with us. Fifi Manfred was here with us. And if you remember, I went all the way to La Côte d'Ivoire with a very good friend of mine. His name is Kwame Ado. If you saw me shoot and everything, it was his phone that we were using. Thank you very much. Kwame Ado, a very, very supportive friend of ours. If for those who don't know, we are three Kwames. Kwame Nchubu Esiako, Kwame Bafo, and Kwame Ado. Kwame Ado is the guy. He's always been a part of us. Thank you very much, Kwame Ado. Atik Mohammed also joined us. He's a football agent during the transfer window to give us his own perspective of issues and all of that. I've mentioned Nuhu Adams already, right? Nuhu Adams was the first.
You've forgotten our British man.
I've not forgotten. The list is all here. Scott Gillan, thank you very much, Scott, for also being a part of this podcast as well. We see a very big thank you to you. I think I've exhausted the list. And to the special people, our friends from Fulham.
There's one person you forgot. He made one appearance. Fans were demanding it. Coach Nimley.
Oh my goodness. How could you? How could you?
No more. Thank you very much, Coach Christopher Nimley. Also, and you know that one, it was Fentuo that made it happen. Thank you very much. So thank you so much, Fentuo.
And also Victor Achutamaklo.
I thought you said this list was complete.
Charlie, the list I've written, the names I've written here. As for Achu, he will beat me. I know. He will fight me. Thank you. Thank you very much to everyone and to all our viewers. You are so special.
Yeah.
Without you, this podcast is absolutely nothing. Without you, this podcast is absolutely nothing. Our subscribers, those who comment on our comment section, there's a tall list of you. Some of you are so consistent. If I should mention the name, I would need a whole podcast to be able to do it, because the consistency with which you comment and all of that, we really appreciate it. We've even gifted one of our favorite guys a retro of our United kits of 1999 for being a consistent part of us. Thank you very much for being a part of the show. And a special one to our video editor, Roxon. He has all the brilliant ideas in the world. If you see the interface change and everything that we do on a daily basis, he works overnight to ensure that this thing comes. And then Boache, our graphic designer, motion graphics, he does everything. The shots that we put out, amazing gentlemen. Thank you very much for being a part of the podcast. And to our various wives, yes, thank you for your support.
Yes.
Thank you very much
for allowing us to do it. Thank you
allowing us. Kwame, you guys see Kwame watching this back, right?
Thank you for that.
Kwame is telling the wife, thank you. My wife, she's somewhere. Anytime I do the podcast, I
somewhere in the room.
I just suck her from the room so I can have the room to myself. All right. So thank you very much to our dear partners for making it a great one. We really appreciate your time. To everybody, I hope I've not forgotten anyone. I hope I've not forgotten anyone. Thank you so much for everything, and thank you for being a part of the podcast. And Merry Christmas, guys. Just some few seconds. Who do you have a Merry Christmas to share quickly. Let me start with you, Kwame.
Merry Christmas to you, and to everybody else on this pod, all our viewers, everybody.
Tijo, quick one.
Yeah, big shout to all the United fans. Big shout to United and Everything podcast family. Big shout to my lovely wife Selassie and to my family. Yeah, everybody out there.
All right,
Enjoy the Christmas.
Enjoy the Christmas. Thank you very much for being a part. We hope that when we come back after the game against Wolves, it will be one that we are celebrating the Christmas. All right, it's definitely a Boxing Day game, so we hope that, and we have a very good record on Boxing Day, so we hope that we maintain that on the right end. All right, okay. We'll see you on the next one. Have a great time. Bye bye.